Hello and Happy New Year. I'm Miss Trish. I'm one of the RE teachers for UU St. Pete, and our theme for this month is what does it mean to be a people of imagination? This week's lesson for January the 3rd, 2021 is entitled Imagine a New You. So let's light the chalice and get started. Love is the spirit of this church and service its law. This is our great covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. When we think about imagination, one can't help but reflecting on the very first thing one does with UU kids, and that is child dedications. In contrast to some faiths that highlight how we are born with original sin, UU child dedications emphasize that we are born with inherent goodness and immense possibilities. So, what's one of the ways our faith guides us into becoming a people of imagination? It tells us don't put any limits on imagining what you can become. So I have for you some seeds. These seeds came from my yard. This seed pods here, they grow into a tall shrub with yellow flowers. This one gets multiple colored flowers. It's so pretty. It's kind of a purple black. Here is an acorn, which I find growing into oak trees all over my yard. This beauty here, this is the seed from a strawberry hibiscus, and it's still a pod. There's seeds inside. I also grew, here's a dried asparagus, and when I open the pod, it has lots of little black seeds. And these little tiny seeds, each one this big, will grow into a tall asparagus with lots and lots of vegetables on it. So here we are in a brand new year. Welcome to 2021. Woohoo! You might be hearing a lot of talk about New Year's resolutions. We seem to do this every New Year's. Have you heard any resolutions, or have you made any yourself? I've made a couple of new commitments to myself for this year. One is to meditate every single day, and the other one is to stop eating after supper every night. So no more snacks after 8:30 p.m. for me. And I started honoring these commitments a couple of weeks ago because I did not want to wait for the changes that I would experience as a result of these new behaviors. If you want to accomplish something different this year, one possibility is to imagine yourself as a magic seed called the new you seed. It would be a magical seed which allows you to become anything you wish. We believe that we are born with immense possibilities. Our faith tells parents in the UU Church that the child dedication ceremony helps us to don't put any limits on imagining what your baby or child can become. And this seed that you find inside yourself could represent just that. For this month, the theme is imagination. And with our imaginations, we can picture this seed as a magical way to plant an idea of becoming anything you wish. We could grow like Jack and the Beanstalk's magic seed. Would you like that? Or Would you like to grow like an avocado seed? Maybe. We leave that up to our imaginations. Just remember, all seeds need resources to sprout and grow. Your imagination seed, your self seed, won't need dirt, water, and sunlight like a plant seed, but it will need your attention and effort for you to achieve your desires that your imagination holds for yourself. The more you give love and attention to your self seed, the more it will grow. So, speaking of actual plant seeds, do you know anyone who has a winter windowsill full of plant starts, or a greenhouse, or maybe some herbs? Even in the wintertime in Florida, things are growing. But to get ready for spring, I usually plant some seeds indoors to get them started. When the seeds sprout, it helps me imagine the wonderful garden that will be growing this summer. I have for you a story. It's called The Everything Seed by Carol Martiganasso. I think it's hard to say. That's the author. And the illustrator is Joy Troyer. You can check this book out from the library. It's a beautiful book with beautiful illustrations, or you can watch it online. We'll include a link so you can read it and you can watch it. Here we go with this story. Have you ever watched a seed grow? Have you ever noticed how it begins so small, so still, so quiet, like a gift waiting to be opened, and how slowly it wakes up, begins to unfold, growing into something larger and larger and larger? Then you know that whatever comes from a seed usually ends up looking very little like the seed it came from, which is also true of the very first seed. Once, long, long ago, way back before the beginning, so long ago, there was no such thing as time. There was no one there to count it. Everywhere was a huge, deep, mysterious place, like something waiting to happen. There were no stars, no sun or moon. There was no place like the earth, not a drop of water or a single tree or rock or flower, and no living beings anywhere. But in that deep, waiting space was hidden the tiniest point of something no bigger than a seed, like that little bitty asparagus seed that I showed you. No bigger than this. And it was waiting. It was not a flower seed. It was not the seed of an elm tree. It was not an acorn seed or a seed of corn, although it was all of those things. They were all included in that seed. You might call it an everything seed because that is what it became. No one knows where the first seed came from, or how it was planted, or how it knew, in the only way that seeds seem to know, how long to wait for just the right moment to sprout and grow. But all at once, this tiny seed, cradled and nourished in the rich soil of space, woke up and broke open and became to unfold, unfolding and unfolding and blossoming forth into an enormous blazing ball of bright light like a great grandmother's sun, and the universe was born. Out fluttered the galaxies like a storm of snowflakes swirling and gathering into the brightest, most blindingly beautiful cloud of stars. And out of the star clouds whirled our own star, the one we call the sun, and our earth, and our moon, and all the spinning planets we have learned to name. And this is the secret of that tiny seed. You and I were there in the very beginning, just as an idea for each leaf on a big oak tree lies hidden inside an acorn, like this little acorn I showed you has the idea of the leaf and a huge tree hidden inside. We were all there with the stars and the planets and all the rocks and oceans, the plants and animals and all the people. Everything that is now, ever was, or ever will be was inside that first tiny seed. So, whenever you hold a seed in your hand and wonder what it will become, imagine how you and all that is here once came from the tiniest speck of an everything seed before it sprouted and grew long, long ago in the way back beginning of time. Now, if this were an ordinary story, it would end right here. But this is the story of the universe, which keeps unfolding. What once began in a blazing blossom of light continues every day. New stars sprout open in the deep soil of space. New plants and animals appear on Earth. Seeds of many kinds are scattered everywhere to help us remember. And new people are born every day with the spark of that first light still alive and burning deep inside, waiting, like the everything seed, to shine in ways that are yet to be known. Isn't that a beautiful story? What possibilities exist in you? You could pick one or two you'd really love to make happen and write them down. And I challenge you to do that. Write down one or two things you'd like to make happen. And every morning in January, look at what you wrote and take a step towards making it real. What would your everything seed look like if it were a seed? You could draw a picture of your seed. You could draw it right next to what you wrote down and look at that. Give it attention. Give it love. Now I'm going to yield the floor to Miss Janae for the rest of the lesson. So for now, I'll say, love you all. I miss you all. And I can't wait to see you again. Namaste. And now here's Miss Janae.